Okay, we are now looking at the editor tool in the front end of the demo Impartable installation. In the first video, I showed you about logging in. You'll need to have an administrator login to get to this level, but if you don't have one yet, you can contact us and we'll get that for you. Alright, so here we are looking at the editor tool. I'm not going to go through everything, but just point out some of the main things. The first series of tools are really the font and text tools. And so you can change the size, the font family, the boldness, italic, etc. Those kinds of settings, very standard. You can also align the text left, right, center. You've got a set of preset paragraph styles and other styles. And you can change colors and underline and highlights, etc. You've also got a couple of paste tools over here, as well as indents and lists, subscripts, superscripts, very much like what you would expect on any kind of text editor. A few things to bear in mind: when you are pasting from a different editor like Microsoft Word or another text editor or even another website, you want to be aware of the fact that that will bring in a whole bunch of code into the editor, code that may or may not be readable by HTML and other browsers. The best thing to do when you pasting in text into the editor is either use the paste as plain text tool, which is right over here, or else you can use your browser paste and match style, which will match the style that we've already put into the editor. If you have copied a lot of text and you're unhappy with the results you're getting, you can use the text cleanup, code cleanup tools over here. The brush just cleans up the HTML, doesn't delete too much of it, but the eraser removes all of the formatting that maybe MS Word or another application would have put in. That's a very useful tool to use. The next set of tools I want to show you are the table tools. I'm going to give myself a bit of room inside my editor window and click on the table icon. So from here right the way across to there is my table tools. With tables, the thing to be aware of is if you select a set width for a table or else a cell or a row, then that width is going to override the settings of the site. And so when the site is responsive and it comes down to a smaller screen size, then a lot of your content is going to be lost out of that screen. So my advice is to keep the width clear for HTML, but you can add columns and rows, and you can add rows as you go. So if I was to put something in here and add a row, I could do so using my editor tools here, or I could delete a row, and it works very much like you would expect a table editor to work. Inside the tables, you can do the same thing that you can do with text, bolds, italics, etc. You can put in images and all those kinds of things. Alright, let's look at linking and pop-ups. We already have a link over here, so I'm going to just cancel what I'm doing here. And while I'm talking about cancelling, it's very important to note with any content in Impartable that if you don't cancel or save and close, then that particular piece, whether it's an article or a module or whatever it is, it remains open and others can't access it until you've accessed it again and saved or cancelled it. So it's important to properly either save or cancel what you're doing. I'm going to cancel because I don't want to save what I've done. Okay, here I am back at the front end of the site, not in edit mode, and here is the link that I was talking about. This one is a pop-up link, and I'm going to just click on it to see what it does. And you can see that it pops up another page from the website. I think this is actually popping up a page from a separate web page. You can do that as well. So this is a pop-up link. It could be a link to a different window. It could be a link within the site. It could open up a new tab. There's all kinds of ways to do links. Edit mode. Okay, so I'm going to highlight all of that text in the link. You'll notice there's a little extra bit over there. I'm going to get to that in a minute or two. So over here are my text icons. There's the break text icon, and next to it is this one here is the spell check, and it's always on. That's why it's highlighted. But that's my link text. So I'm going to click on that. And here you see that the link is indeed going to an external web page. And that's the URL. It could be an internal page, and you can get internal pages through this set over here, either a contact page, content page, or part of your menu, or else you can type in the link over here if you'd like to. You can also decide what kind of window you'd like it to open up into, the current window, a new window, etc. And then I want to just quickly talk about pop-ups. We have a number of pop-up options open. The one that I prefer, the one I think that would work best, is this one called Rocket Theme Rockbox. And the only thing you need to be concerned about is setting a dimension size to the pop-up. I normally stick with about 500 pixels wide and let the website worry about the height. You can leave that blank, but you could change that as well if you'd like to, or make this bigger or smaller, depending on how you'd like to handle it. So I'm not going to change anything there. Now let's have a quick look at why there is a little bit of extra highlighted link text over there. I'm going to go into the code of the website, and I'm going to click on the code tool here, source code editor. You can also toggle the editor here to source code. I prefer to use the source code editor because it gives me the source code in highlighted colors so that I know what is what. If you're comfortable editing code, this is how you would do it. If you're not, it's not that difficult to learn, and you don't have to know code in order to use this, but it does help now and then. Alright, I can see that here is my link over here, faithimpotable.com. Here is my A reference for the external link, and there is the end of the A reference. So everything inside there is of my highlighted is a link, and there's a span class here which is an icon, and it ends straight away. So there's an icon that's being displayed in that point. So let's just cancel that and have a look and see what that icon is. And there you can see it's a little pop-up icon to show that this is a pop-up link. The reason why this is important to show you is that in Impottable we're using the Bootstrap Font Awesome icon set, so you can access those if you know what those are and where to get them. You can access those to put into articles and modules, etc. Alright, two last things to look at in the editor. The first is we want to look at links, or should I say document links, and then we'll look at image links. So we have a way to use your Impottable installation as a document storage, online document storage, and that's handled through this little tool over here next to the link tools to the right. There's an insert edit file link, so I'm going to click on that. And here we have a file manager set up, and works very much in the same kind of way. I already have a document that I've uploaded over here, and I'm going to upload another one to show you. If I click on that document, you'll see here the URL is empty. If I click on that document, then the URL displays. the minute I click on any other document or any other file, so if I go back to my root here, then I get a warning saying that my text and name is about to change, and am I happy with that? That is obviously there so that the text of the file will be replaced by the name of the file, and they want to be sure that I'm happy to do that. So that's just a standard warning. You don't have to worry about it too much. My advice is just to click yes when you see that warning. Replace file link text with file name, yes. And then you can see the name gets replaced. I can, if I want to change this name, I could say this is called whatever I want to call it. I don't even have to have a dot anything behind it. It could just be a name that I put in there, but it links to that particular file. Alright, what if I wanted to upload my own file? I would make sure that I'm firstly in the correct directory that I want to be in. And at this stage I'm looking at my user directory. And then I would click on the upload link over here on the right. I can create a new directory as well if I want to, but click on the upload link and I can drag or browse to get to files on my desktop. And there's a couple of them over here, so let's take this one over there. It's a 7.9 megabyte file. I'm going to take a little bit of a smaller one. There it is. Click upload. You can do multiple files at the same time. This is a fairly large file, so it'll take a bit of time to upload. And when it's uploaded, there it is available to me. I haven't yet selected it. I'm still selected on the old file, this gantry one over here. But the minute I click on that, then it changes the file and asks me if I want to change the name. I could, of course, say no if I want to keep the same name, which would be fine as well. A few other things before I set that link in place. I do want to include the icon link. This will give a small little icon for the kind of file that it is. This is a zip file, so that'll give me a little icon. There'll be a text link, and I want to change that text to some other name. Let's say that I also want to put in the file size. This is a 3.43 megabyte file, and I also want to let the user know the date of the upload. Okay, I don't have to worry too much about the rest. That file is now ready to go. If I click insert, there's my file with the link as well as the icon and all the information about it, and that makes for a neat way for you to upload file content into your classes or into any other part of your website. Last thing to look at before we end this session off is image upload. An image upload works very much the same way as file upload. I'm going to click on this image as an example, and you can see the image icon is already highlighted because I've just clicked on an image, and so I'm going to click on that. And here it takes me to the image and gives me the URL where the image is located, and there's my image. If I wanted to edit an image that I'm looking at, I could do so over here with my edit tools. I could change the name of an image, although I'd be very careful to do that because there might be other places where the image is being used and it won't know what that name is. I can also edit the image. I can crop, rotate, and do a few other things to the image. Or I can select another image. If I selected an image, let's say over here, then that would change my selection, give me a little preview, and there I'd know what the image would look like with text surrounding it. Images in HTML do not work the same way as they do in a Word file or any other kind of text editor. They've got to be coded in, and so this tool is there to help you code in the correct formats. And it takes a little bit of learning to get it right, but that's just the way it is with HTML. So the first thing that I'll notice is I can change the dimensions of the the image. I can also give it a different name if I'd like to, but I can change the dimensions to whatever I like it to be, and clicking the proportional button makes sure that the image doesn't look squashed in either from top to bottom or from side to side. I can also set the alignment of the image, which is very useful if I want text to flow around it. While I change the setting, I want you to notice what's happening in the preview over here. So if I set it to left, the preview automatically tells me what it's going to look like. I can see that it's right up against the image there. If I want the text to flow around it, then I need to is where I set that value, and at the moment you can see that there's only one of these highlighted, and if I put say 10 pixels around it, that solves my problem, but it gives me margin all the way around the image. Let me click off equal values. That gives me the ability then to do only on the right, so I can get rid of the rest. And there I've solved my flow around issues. The clear button makes sure that there's no text next to the image, and you might want to use that at some point. I would suggest testing this out and trying it out, because it takes a little bit of figuring out to make sure that you know how it is that you want it to operate. You can also set a border around your image and a few other things, which I'm not going to go into the detail of now. What if you want to upload your own image? Well, works very much the same way as the file uploads we looked at a few minutes ago. I'm going to go to my user file, and you'll see that the zip files that I put in there do not display because we're in the image editor now, so you won't see those. Again, here is my image upload tool, and I'm going to click on upload. Again, I can drag and drop, or I can browse, and I have the ability to resize images, which is very useful if you've been taking images with an iPhone or a smart camera of some kind. Then generally they're way too big for web use, and so you can resize them as you go. You just click on the resize button and it gives you a 640 by 480, which is a very good default size for web images, and so I recommend you use that as you upload. Same idea, you can drag and drop, browse on your computer to find an image that you'd like to upload. I'm sure I've got something on my desktop. Here's a 1 pixel JPEG, and I'm going to upload that, and there it is uploaded. I can now click on that in order to put it into my file, which I'm not going to do for now. Okay, so that's it for the editor. I'm going to leave this page open so that when we get to the next video, I can show you how to do the saving and publishing of files, and that's what we'll do next. And after that, we'll look at some editing of classes and profiles, and then we'll get into the back end.